We know one thing, that the Afghan war resulted in a continuation of the dope trafficking, heroin, out of Afghanistan. For certain, the Central Intelligence Agency, which was once headed by George Bush Sr., was trafficking in heroin to finance their operations. They were trafficking in heroin out of Southeast Asia when General Khun Sa in Shanland, which is in the heart of the Golden Triangle, was dealing with the Central Intelligence Agency. Khun Sa was asked who was the #1 trafficker of heroin into the Western world. Who's the #1 man? And they said Richard Armitage, CIA operative. Oh, Armitage. He was made Assistant Secretary of Defense under Ronald Reagan, personally appointed. Of course, George Bush was really in operation then. He wasn't simply vice president, he was acting as president. The CIA has always been the enforcement arm of the Council on Foreign Relations. Practically every head of the CIA has been a member of the Council on Foreign Relations. So what's it all about? Trafficking in dope, killing, mass murder, corruption, overthrowing free countries to impose dictatorships? That's been the course. Communist China is getting the benefit of our loss. They gain, we lose. They get stronger, we get weaker. Reagan and Bush Sr., transferred about $17 billion in nuclear and conventional hardware, military hardware, to the Communist Chinese, who've executed more people than any nation on the planet Earth. The Communist Chinese about Hitlered Hitler at the height of his hysteria. They've mass murdered in excess of 100 million people. They have some 23 million people used for slave labor. Oh, you go to the store and you buy these little products. We import slave labor and export our jobs. $1 billion a week in deficits. And you wonder why we're having an economic problem? That's not going to change with Bush. Bush's uncle, George's brother, is head of the U.S.-China Trade Organization. That's out of Beijing. And the Beijing butchers mass murdered people in the streets of Tiananmen Square. George Bush Sr. went around the next week or so and increased aid and trade to the communist cartels. They're the terrorists. But the war isn't going to be against the real terrorists. The war is being conducted against you and your family and those who speak out for freedom, those who disclose what's really happening behind the scene.